What is behind the undeniable success of science? It seems as if its success is a result of its ability to explain nature by appeal to general principles. And this explanatory objective is at the heart of the scientific endeavour. As one influential philosopher of science wrote, the sciences seek to discover and to formulate in general terms the conditions under which events of various sorts occur, the statements of such determining conditions being the explanations of the corresponding happenings. So, if I want to explain, for example, the reason that a pen will drop to the ground when I push it off my desk, we don't need to worry about the particular pen, its colour, its size, etc. We just need to see it as a physical object that's therefore governed by the law of gravity in this case. So as scientists, we need to abstract away from all of the irrelevant particular properties of an event so that we can understand it as an instance of a general law. Now, the whole point is to establish principles or laws that are common to phenomena as diverse as, say, the motion of the planets and the paths of projectiles, including my dropped pen. We're looking for repeatable patterns that relate all things that have certain properties, and as a result we can say that science is not overly concerned with the unique nature of particular things, but is instead more interested in how things relate to each other. As the modern Jewish philosopher Joseph Soloveitchik has written, knowledge for science is not concerned with content but form, not with the what but with the why and how. It does not investigate A and B, but attempts to determine the interdependencies of these relata. Now, note that what we have to say about science and scientific method in this mini-lecture is certainly not universally accepted, even among philosophers of science nowadays, though it is still a popular view, especially among the public. But the question we have to ask is whether or not such an approach allows us to understand human beings. While on the one hand human beings are obviously physical beings, subject to the same laws as any other physical object, including the law of gravity, we also differ from all other physical objects. To begin with, we think about our existence and about what we wish to do with it. Our existence is an issue for us, in a way it's not for other physical objects. And if we ignore this, argue the existentialists, then we're surely ignoring the most significant thing about us as human beings. On top of this, while I can account for the existence of a physical object by describing how it came to be and its various causal interactions which locate it within a lawful system of relationships, what any particular human being is can never be simply set down in some final and complete statement, since what we are is always a matter of the choices we continue to make. So we cannot be said to have some sort of static essence that defines us, as we are constantly developing in accordance with our choices. It's this in part which lies behind the existentialist motto, existence precedes essence. The essence of a rock, for example, can be stated once and for all, but the essence of a person is in continual flux as that person continues to choose and to act. The I is an ongoing and developing enterprise, or indeed achievement, in a way that natural phenomena are not. Thus, as the 20th century thinker Hans-Georg Gadamer argues, in our attempts to understand human beings and their social world, the individual case does not serve only to confirm a law from which practical predictions can be made. Its ideal is rather to understand the phenomenon in itself, in its unique and historical concreteness. There is a further important difference to note that emerges from this discussion. The claim is often made that scientific knowledge is objective, that it tells us how things really are, independent of our own particular human perspective. Atoms are atoms, and they would exist even if we did not. They are mind independent, as philosophers might say. Now, in order to gain such objective knowledge of things as they really are, the claim is that we must remove all of our own subjective prejudices. We need to abstract away from our particular human interests in order to see things as they really are, and it's knowledge of that kind with which the sciences claim to provide us. Now again, one can ask the question as to whether such an approach can accurately account for human interactions. Is someone's wife, for example, just one person among many, to be treated simply as another human being? Should we strip away all the particular elements that render a relationship special, so that it's just an example of a human interaction in general? If we're being objective, presumably we should do so, and in that case I might ask, well, is this person objectively speaking the most beautiful person I know? Is this person objectively speaking the most intelligent person I know? Once you've asked these questions, you may discover that objectively speaking, there are better people out there with whom to interact. You may also discover that you have no friends left. But surely, here the very particularities of the relationship are essential to it. Stripping them away in order to be objective seems strange, if not wrong. Indeed, objectifying people can be extremely dangerous. So is it possible, therefore, that the scientific method, powerful as it is, needs supplementing with something else if we are to really understand key aspects of human experience? It's the argument of the existentialists that that is indeed the case.